That density is so extreme, it will not permit the existence of atoms. It won't permit the existence of molecules. If there are no atoms and no molecules in the universe, there is no possibility for life systems. So the universe must be expanded at just the right velocity, at just the right times throughout cosmic history in order to make possible planets and stars which would enable life to exist. And what Lawrence Krauss points out in this paper, for that to be the case, it's necessary that this dark energy term be fine-tuned or designed to within 1 part in 10 to the 120th. Now that's 120 zeros after the 1. If we were to compare that kind of fine-tuning design to the best example of human engineering design, we would discover that this dark energy design exceeds what we see in human engineering achievements by a factor of 10 to the 97 times, which would imply that this causal agent beyond matter, energy, space, and time, at a minimum, is 10 to the 97 times more intelligent and more knowledgeable than Caltech and MIT physicists who are responsible for the best example we can examine for human engineering design, and at least that many times better funded than those Caltech and MIT physicists. Now, what we're doing here is demonstrating that this causal agent is not simply a transcendent entity, but must be a personal being. The only way to explain this phenomenal fine-tuning design is if that design has been achieved by a being that is personal, intelligent, knowledgeable, creative, and very powerful. And we're actually able to measure, based on this minimum fine-tuning, that that creator must be orders and orders of magnitude more powerful and creative than us human beings. And this led to, a couple of years ago, the following paper, Disturbing Implications of a Cosmological Constant, to be published by 3 non-theistic astrophysicists, 2 from Stanford and 1 from MIT. And the cosmological constant is another term for this dark energy. So it's disturbing implications of dark energy. And I'm going to pull 2 quotes from the preprint of this paper. And the first is that arranging the universe as we think it is arranged would have required a miracle. A rather remarkable statement for 3 atheist astrophysicists to state in a research paper. And they followed it up with a second comment. An external agent, external to space and time, intervened in cosmic history for reasons of its own. Now, they found these 2 implications to be so utterly disturbing, an external agent performing miracles for reasons of his own, that the last sentence of the research paper, they concluded the following, that the only reasonable conclusion is that we do not live in a world with a true cosmological constant. In other words, they were saying dark energy must be wrong, because if it's right, it implies that there must be this supernatural agent performing miracles for reasons of his own. And they said, we're not prepared to accept that. But the irony is that this preprint was posted on the Los Alamos website just weeks before astronomers came up with irrefutable evidence that this dark energy is real. Not only that it's real, but that it's a dominant component of the universe. Now, I'm not going to go into the details. This is covered in our book, Creationist Science, and you'll see it up on our reasons.org website. And you can look at the details in the research papers. But there are now 9 independent observational confirmations that dark energy is real, and that dark energy makes up about 72 to 73% of all the stuff of the universe. So you've got measurements from galaxy cluster X-rays, the cosmic background map done with the WMAP satellite, also confirmed by ground-based measurements of the cosmic background radiation. That's the radiation left over from the cosmic creation event. Measurements of the expansion of the universe from type 1a supernova, from gravitational lenses, the distributions of radio galaxies, and then 2 deep surveys of galaxies, the Sloan Digital Sky Survey and the 2-degree field survey, and then the velocity distributions of other galaxies. It's such that the astronomical community now recognizes dark energy is not going away. It's here to stay. It's the dominant component of the universe. And therefore, it really does appear that we're stuck with this causal agent beyond space and time, performing miracles for reasons that he has chosen. Now, I focused on dark energy. However, Lawrence Krauss also made note of the fact that the mass of the universe must be carefully fine-tuned in order for light to be possible. The matter of the universe also governs this cosmic expansion. And what he notes is that if you look at this vast universe, and thanks to the Hubble Space Telescope, we've now taken images so deep we can determine how many galaxies exist in the observable universe. And the answer is 200 billion galaxies, where each of those galaxies has on the average 200 billion stars. Now, I wasn't able to pick up the distant faint dwarf galaxies, but the bottom line is we can conclude that the observable universe contains 50 billion trillion stars. And yet, the mass of the universe, the total mass of the universe, is so exquisitely fine-tuned that if we were to add a single dime's worth of matter to the total mass of the universe, add 1 dime to those 50 billion trillion stars, or subtract a dime from those 50 billion trillion stars, then life would be impossible anytime, anywhere in the universe. That's how delicately balanced the mass of the universe must be. Add 1 dime, subtract 1 dime, and you're not going to have life. Now, those are probably the 2 most spectacular evidences I can give you from physics and astronomy for the supernatural, superintelligent design of the universe for the benefit of life. But there are many more. What I have here is a short list of several different features of physics, the laws of physics, and the gross features of the universe that must be exquisitely fine-tuned. All of the fundamental forces of physics, gravity, the strong nuclear force, the weak nuclear force, the electromagnetic force, must be exquisitely fine-tuned for life to be possible anytime, anywhere. Not just life as we know it, but any kind of physical life. For example, the ratio of the electromagnetic force to the gravitational force must be fine-tuned to within 1 part in 10,000 trillion trillion trillion, or there's no possibility for life anywhere, anytime. We already mentioned the expansion rate. The age of the universe must be exquisitely fine-tuned. The velocity of light. The universe must be extremely homogeneous and uniform for light to be possible, but not too uniform and not too homogeneous. And then the entropy level must be just right. And if you go to our reasons.org website, you'll see posted there a list of 93 different features of the laws of physics and the gross features of the universe that must be exquisitely fine-tuned to make life possible. And we would predict that as astronomers learn more about the universe, that list will grow. We've seen it grow from 4 factors for design 40 years ago to 93, and we're confident that that will continue as we go on into the future. But that's the universe as a whole. Now, when we look a little closer to home, we're able to make astronomical measurements with much more precision than we can the universe as a whole. And we do that, we discover what's called the heavenly body problem. Namely that not any old galaxy will do. It takes a very special kind of galaxy, so special that we're now concluding that the Milky Way galaxy indeed may be alone in having the correct physical features that would permit advanced life to exist. Likewise, not any old star in that galaxy will do. It must be a star with characteristics virtually identical to our star, the Sun. And we look at the planets in our solar system. We recognize that they're all needed to make life possible here on planet Earth. Jupiter must be just right, Saturn must be just right, Uranus and Neptune. All of these bodies play a critical role in making life possible here on planet Earth. And probably the thing that needs to be most exquisitely fine-tuned of all would be planet Earth. Here we see hundreds of different characteristics of the planet that must be exquisitely fine-tuned to make even simple life possible, let alone advanced life. And even our moon, I mean, our planet Earth is blessed with this single gigantic moon. And the moon has many exquisite properties that would make life possible here on planet Earth. Now, this is something that we've reviewed in some detail, not only in The Creator and the Cosmos, that's our best-selling book, but in our award-winning DVD, Journey Toward Creation, which is now available in 12 languages. And what I want to do is show you a short video clip from Journey Toward Creation, where we look at the weakest of these 5 evidences for supernatural design. I would argue that the strongest evidences are for the galaxy, our solar system, our star, the Earth, and then the moon would be the weakest of the set. But even the evidences for the moon are quite spectacular, as this short video clip will show.